earth-shattering. Earth-shattering, man. You see someone going to a position to where not only their career's in jeopardy, but their life's in jeopardy. It's a whole nother type of game.
It was just sad to me. I wasn't thinking about basketball at all. I'm thinking about this kid may die, may not live. You hear heart, that's your first thought.
It's been a long road. A lot of doubters said he won't come back, the same. First time I looked in the mirror, I was like, this can't be right.
It wasn't the first time Jeff Green faced doubt. More than halfway through the 2010-2011 season, the Celtics made a trade that brought Green to Boston and sent fan favorite Kendrick Perkins to Oklahoma City.
They had a championship team when they had Perk here, and everybody loved him here. And I had to come in and, produce right away.
I thought it was a really unfair atmosphere for him. Everyone was looking at him like, let's see how different you're gonna make our team better than Perk. I kept trying to tell him, you don't have to fit in, they'll fit in around you. You just go play.
But play would have to wait because of the NBA lockout. When the season was finally set to begin in late December, Green had one more step, complete a mandatory physical.
I remember laying on the table, one of the doctors looking at the screen. He told me that I will have to have surgery, or most likely I won't probably be able to play unless I want to run the risk of something fatal happening.
Green was diagnosed with an aortic aneurysm, a swelling of the body's main artery, a potentially life-threatening condition.
Only thing I remember was surgery and out for the season. That's all I remember. I just had my head in my shirt and I was crying because I worked so hard to get to the point I was at. I didn't know if I was gonna ever play again. I didn't know if I was gonna make it through the surgery. I didn't know if I was ever gonna see my family again. It was kind of a big blow.
To sort of be with Jeff and witness the pain that he was going through and the frustration that he was having and the sadness, because I'm not sure he knew what his future was gonna bring.
Dr. Lars Svensson, a cardiac surgeon at the Cleveland Clinic, performed the 5.5-hour surgery in January of 2012.
When we got in there, his tissues were paper thin. It was sort of like plastic wrapping. The tissues were really fragile, and he really, I think, was very lucky.
I just remember waking up, I couldn't move. Only thing I could move was my head. Could barely breathe without it being painful. Couldn't stand up.
What would you say your lowest moment was?
Probably 4 days after surgery. I'll never forget this day. I remember being woken up because I was choking. My heart rate went sky high. The nurses ran in. I just started crying. I just looked out. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't move. I can't cough. I just can't do it. And that's when I realized that this is real. This is going to be the toughest task I've ever been through. That's when it hit me, is that you got to be committed, you got to be passionate, you got to devote everything, all your time, everything into trying to get better.
After months of intense rehab, Green was strong enough to take the next big step, return to the basketball court.
In between those lines on that court, I shut everything out. I left everything outside of the gym, running up and down, dribbling on the ball. That's when, I felt that peace.
It was good to see him, man. He was like a breath of fresh air, man. He was like, I like to say he was a chick with a new hairdo. When women get their hair done, boy, you can't tell them nothing, and that's how he looked to me. He looked like he was happy to see everybody, that he was just happy, and he's happy with life.
I thought being around his teammates was very important. Being around basketball, traveling with the team, I thought that was really important to his rehab. And then the other guys, seeing him work and how hard he was working to get back, I thought was important as well.
While Green cheered his team from the bench through the playoffs, his teammates continued to motivate him. In this preseason, he put his uniform back on for the first time.
I looked at it, shook it, and it was like, this is real. Like, I'm back as a Celtic, where I wanted to be. I was just thankful that I was able to be in that position again.
Celtic! Celtic! Celtic!
The Celtics showed their confidence in Green and signed him to a 4-year, $36 million contract this past August.
That day when I finally signed the contract, I cried. I mean, to come off of heart surgery, to sign any contract, it was a full-on blessing. Nobody knows what I've been through. Nobody knows what I'm still going through. I just enjoy each day.
He throws to Jeff Green in the corner. Armstrong, big-time right-hand flush right over Al Jefferson.
I call him David Banner, because when he turns into the Hulk, he's a totally different player. Goes to the rack hard, he's dunking on guys, he's using his athleticism, he's all out, and we're tough to beat when he's like that. You know what it is? He's so good that we forget that he just went through major heart surgery, and that's what you forget.
I'm Iron Man. This is me. I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna show it off because it shows what I've been through. It shows character and it shows heart.